Why is it that some people who aren't any smarter than you, who don't work any harder than you, who weren't handed any special advantages, are living lives of complete financial freedom? They walk into stores without checking price tags. They make decisions based on what they want, not what they can afford. They sleep peacefully while their money works for them. They weren't born winners. They didn't hit the lottery. They didn't inherit a fortune. What they discovered is something far more powerful than luck. And if you've never been shown this truth, you're not alone. Because the people who benefit from keeping you in the dark made sure you'd never learn it. But today, that changes. What you're about to discover will shift everything you thought you knew about money. Forever. They say, money can't buy happiness. Just be grateful for what you have. Stability is the smart choice. Sound familiar? Of course it does. Because that's what you were told. Over and over. Passed down from one generation to the next. But have you ever stopped to ask yourself, why? Why is it that these beliefs never seem to move you forward? While you were taught to save every penny, they were taught to make money grow. While you were praised for living within your means, they were learning how to expand their means. You were told to be patient and wait for opportunities. But they were praised for knowing how to create them. You were taught that playing it safe is wise. But to them, playing it too safe is the fastest way to a small life. The problem isn't that you're not good enough. It's not that you're not trying hard enough. The truth island, you and they, live in the same world. But your minds, they were programmed differently. And once a belief is planted deep inside your subconscious, you don't just think differently. You see a completely different world. With a millionaire mindset, they don't see opportunities the way you do. You see opportunity as luck, something that might come your way if you're patient enough, something you hope for. But they don't wait for opportunities. They create them. You ask, how can I make more money? But they ask, how can I build a system that makes money for me even while I sleep? You search for a stable job, something predictable, something safe. But they search for a lever, a force so powerful it can shift the entire game in their favor, because they understand something that most people refuse to face. You will never become wealthy by trading time for money. Not in the long run. Not in the world they play in. And until you see what they see, you'll stay stuck. It's not about how much you do. It's not about how hard you try. The real question is, where are you standing in this game? Because the wealthy, they know something that 90% of people will never understand. Your value isn't measured by how much effort you put in. It's measured by the perspective you bring. You could work 12 hours a day. You could skip weekends. You could sacrifice, hustle, and push through the exhaustion. But if you're running in the wrong direction, you're not getting ahead. You're just getting lost faster. The wealthy don't run faster. They choose the right path sooner. Not because they're smarter. Not because they're luckier. But because they pause. They ask themselves the questions no one else dares to. What problem am I solving for the world? Is the solution I offer valuable enough that people will pay for it willingly? And here's the harsh truth. You can be brilliant. You can be kind. You can work yourself to the bone. But if the world doesn't see your value, you remain invisible. Wealth isn't the result of effort alone. It's the consequence of seeing yourself clearly and positioning that value in a way the world can't ignore. Because no matter how hard you work, you will never receive more than the value you bring. And that's why you're still stuck, even when you've done everything right. You are not held back by your circumstances. You are not restrained by other people. You are not losing because you lack ability. You are trapped, but not by the world. You're trapped by the way you think the world works. If you believe that success is a game of luck, you'll wait, you'll watch, you'll hope, but you'll never start. If you believe that others are simply born smarter, more talented, more deserving, you won't just lose. You'll eliminate yourself before you even take your first step. And if you believe that you need to be chosen, given a shot, granted permission, you'll never leave the line. You'll stand there, waiting, while others make their own way. And if you're not careful, if you never question these beliefs, you'll spend your entire life like this. But what if you stopped? Just for a moment. What if you asked yourself, what if the only limit is the one I accepted as real? Because the second you ask that question, you'll see it. The path to success? It was never closed. It was open all along. You just never dared to step through it. The difference. It's not about talent. It's not about luck. It's not about where you started. It's about one thing. Choosing to change. Not following the crowd. Not waiting for permission. Not bowing your head. The millionaire mindset? It doesn't begin with something grand. It starts with one decision. A quiet, unseen decision. Made in a single, still moment. While the noise of the world rages on. And if you're still listening, maybe, just maybe, a part of you is ready. But now comes the real question. Is the rest of you strong enough to act? Or will you close this video and step right back into a day that looks exactly like yesterday? But if something inside you just woke up, don't ignore it. Comment below. Tell me, what will you change starting today? And if this video struck a nerve, don't keep it to yourself. Because somewhere out there, someone else is still waiting to wake up, just like you did.